Good morning, everyone. Hope all of you are safe at home. I'm very happy and very honored to be associated with Please. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. So let's look at the content what I have prepared for all of you today. Firstly, what are the qualities of a good lawyer or an in-house counsel? Second question, what I understand is most of you who participate this webinar are law students. So how can you improve your soft skill and professional skill when you're in college or during your initial days of your career? You can certainly implement it. Thirdly, I will just open the forum and explain you what are the different career opportunities that you can think of at the time of your graduation instead of just sticking to your litigation or just thinking practice is the only domain that you can think of. The fourth and the fifth slide, as I'm an in-house counsel, I will let you understand how can you get into corporate. Is it worth? What are the pros and cons of being a corporate lawyer? And I will share my own experience of how to raise a corporate lawyer. The qualities of a good lawyer and in-house counsel. Like most of my friends keep telling me this, yours is a profession, when you speak, you are paid. I think even teachers or priests are also of a similar way. But it is very important for us to have a very strong communication skills. So when I say communication, it is both your oral as well as your written communication. So let me help you, because everyone tell that, yes, you should be very good in your communication skill. We all hear this, but how will you genuinely improve it? That is where I would like to throw some light, and you can definitely have your own way of improving it. Something which helped, because today's webinar, I am not going to tell what I heard from others. I'm going to share my own experience, which helped me to be a better person. In your oral communication, firstly is your diction or choice of words is very much important. All of us speak, but we are very keen to listen to people when they speak based on facts, out of experience, or when they make a very good sentence formation. Okay, let's take an example. Now you just see or you get the smell of a food. Instead of telling it as a smell of food, use a word, I like the aroma of the food. Aroma is a word which creates an impression about your communication. The same thing, smell of a flower. It's like fragrance of a flower. So how you can learn all these things? First, from today onwards, kindly maintain a book, a journal for your own self. This should be your own dictionary. This is something which I started maintaining almost 5 years back. Whenever you read a news article or read some blog or anything, there will be few words which you wouldn't have understood the meaning. Get back to the dictionary and research what that word exactly means and make a note of it in your book. And next time, when you speak to someone, use that word and form a sentence. Trust me, this change is not going to happen overnight. You need to have a consistent approach of doing this exercise every day on a regular basis. And if possible, if you have a very good friend, just ask them to have a note on how you speak. In a week's time, when you start using such words in your sentence formation, and that will really show up when you speak. So another way of doing it is in Hindu newspaper, there is Know Your English column that's published every Monday. Just read that. There will be at least 4 to 5 new words or a sentence that's been given by the writer. Even this can be implemented in your day-to-day communication. And let's all admit the fact that our local language, or we have an influence of our local mother tongue, maybe Kannada, Punjabi, Hindi, whatever, and we are so used to use such words and talk. But as much as possible, be very conscious and start avoiding it. Like most of the time, even when we were in college, we used to tell this, like chill Madi. Madi is a Kannada word which we use, but that is not really accepted as a professional when you're in a company or a firm. So kindly be very conscious when you use the word and form a sentence. Second tip is avoid jargons as much as possible. Because every time when you communicate, if you use very high-ended words, like especially for lawyers like us, we are very used to saying including, notwithstanding, not limited to. A non-lawyer will certainly not understand such things. The strength or effective communication happens only when the presenter and the recipient have a same thought process. But if you communicate a lot of legal jargons and the other end recipient is a non-lawyer who doesn't understand, your communication completely fails. So be very conscious in choice of words. Second, whom are you talking to? Your audience is very much important. The way I communicate with the law student in a very subtle, sober way and making them understand, and the way I interact with the managing director of a company who is more strategic driven. So in both my scenarios, my audience are different. I have to gauge my audience before I start speaking. And another tip is, when you speak to a person and if you get to know that they are not interested or not understanding, slightly change the topic or give them some practical scenarios so that they are stuck to the topic. So this is some few tips which I would like to share with you pertaining to the oral communication. So written. So we all speak, you can see the audience, you can understand. But in case of written skills, you really don't know who is your recipient, who is reading it, what is his mind. He would be short-tempered at that time, or he would be feeling low or very joyful situation. He may ignore or may not understand. So firstly, whenever you have to write, make a note of it in a newspaper or a paper, just telling what do you want to communicate and what is the end result that you're expecting. So these two things should always be there. Thirdly, understand the cultural difference. For example, if your client is a US based, okay, in case of a meeting, for Indians, it's quite okay to go and attend the meeting sharp at that time. If the meeting is at 12 noon, sharp at 12 noon is fine. But for a US citizen, at least 15 minutes before, you have to be in the meeting room. That's the cultural difference. Take an example of Japanese. They don't understand English. If you give a lecture in English and if he doesn't understand, how is it really going to worth it? So try to understand their cultural difference if you are going as a global client. In case of writing, the normal rule is your written communication should be clear, precise, and crisp. Please don't ever write a long passages. As much as possible, reduce it into bullet points and communicate it. So as I know, this platform is for junior lawyers and for budding lawyers and law students, I thought it's good for you to help you understand how to write email. Most of you are in this position who are seeking for an internship or a job opportunity. You have to make your mark in the very short email that you write. That is what, because a person don't know who you are. You may be the best in academics, but that 2 minutes that the person reads your email is where he has to create an impact about you. So you should have a very effective email. Let's see how to do that. So firstly, in an email, your subject line is very much important. Today, all of us are busy. People don't think of spending time for each email as it's required. So we all prioritize our email. Maybe an email which is from the managing director will be of more priority than a person. It comes from a very low hierarchy in the organization. That is all practically happening. So firstly, you be very courteous. Courtesy matters a lot in a written communication. So request for an internship. That should be your subject line. You can give a hyphen, give your name, and in bracket, if you're coming from any brand law school like NLS or something, in bracket, you can just write your law college name, or any other suitable subject line with courtesy is definitely appreciated. Next, let's think of how to do the body of the email. So now your agenda is very clear. You want to have an internship. You know which month can you really go and intern. Thirdly, you know about yourself, whether you're in a position to relocate for the sake of internship or no. Fourth, why do you want to intern under them? It shouldn't be just because it's part of your academics. Your teachers have told you that you must intern. If you have any specific reason, that also should be called out in your email. So these are four important things. And fifth one, what do you want to achieve? End of the day, when a person reads your email, at least it should create an impression in the person's mind to call you for an in-person or telephonic conversation interview. So first is your salutation. Dear sir, dear madam, or if you're addressing to someone in an MNC company, It's dear Nishvitha. You can call them by their first name. It's totally accepted. Next is the body of the email. If you're writing an email first time or when you're seeking an opportunity, please introduce yourself because people don't know who you are. To introduce myself, I am Nishvitha. I'm a final year law student from Bishop Cotton Law College, and I'm writing this email to seek an internship in your firm. You have introduced yourself. You've clearly called out what is the intent of writing. So the first two emails, just by reading it, the person knows, okay, she needs an internship. She is a final year law student. Clear? The next one, you have to tell why do you want to intern under them. Maybe how did you get to know about them? That's the first thing. How did you, maybe it is through your reference or your college, you saw the advertisement in your college notice board, or you got to know from your parents, or however, just say that I got to know that there is an internship available through my friend. So when you say your friend, please be very conscious that your friend and the recipient should know each other. It's not just someone knowing and you write an email. They should be in connect. That's also very important. Or if you don't know how to do it, or you're approaching it on your own, just for seeking, just say that I am more interested to intern under corporate law. Therefore, I'm interested to work in your firm. So you want to work under corporate law. This firm is doing a corporate law advisory and you want to enrich your knowledge in Companies Act. Therefore, you want to intern under them. So be very explicit. Why do you want to intern under them? Or if you want to intern under a marine law advocate, most of them don't practice marine law or environmental law. You can say that my keen interest lies in marine law, as most of the firms don't offer, and yours is one of the renowned firm or a renowned company practicing on marine law. I would like to be associated with you through an internship. So once you write the body of the email, the next one, you have to tell whether you're willing to relocate. For example, you are based out in Bangalore and your law firm is in Mumbai. You can call out, I have an internship vacation for a month in the month of September for 1 month, and I'm happy to relocate to Mumbai. Give that clarity to the person. It shouldn't be like he calls you up and checks with you that, are you ready to relocate? You have to be explicitly mentioning that you are willing to relocate and what is the tenure that you can associate with him. In the end, regards, your name, please give your contact number. And any further details that you want to give regarding your achievements in college, your mood codes or anything, please enclose it in a resume. Your resume should not run more than 2 pages. 1 page is recommended, maximum is 2 pages. Please don't have more than that. And even when you call out your achievements, have achievements like mood code, writing articles, or being a best debater, something which really adds value to the resume, not some household or some games that you played and you won in that. Those are not going to have any impact in your resume. So after you do all these things, you have a salutation, you have a body of the email. In the body of email, you've said why you want internship, how long can you intern, why do you want to intern under them. You have given your conclusion with your name and your phone number. After that, please do the font check. Entire, it should be Times New Roman or Arial, your font which you like, the font size 11, and finally do the proofreading. If possible, ask your friend or your parent to just read it once and ask them what did they really understand from that email. The last thing that you have to do is add the email ID of the recipient. Most of them, the mistake that they do, they have the email ID first, then they compose an email. By mistake, in between, if the email is shooted, just a partial email gets delivered, which is not a good impression. So just add the recipient, read once, recheck the attachment, whether it is a final version that you want to be. So reattach it, if it is a wrong version, attach, read it once, do the spell check, proofread it again, read it 2 thrice, it's absolutely fine because it's your effort and you want to achieve out of it. And finally, shoot the email. Another mistake which I see with a lot of law students, what they do is, the moment they shoot an email, they start sharing a friend request on Facebook. Remember, we all are professionals. If you want to really have a friend request, don't do it on a Facebook, do it on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a group of professionals, so any request or connect through LinkedIn is appreciated. Secondly, follow up. You send an email today and tomorrow again don't follow up saying that yesterday I sent out an email, did you have a look at it? The person who's sitting there is not working for you. You want an end result out of it. Maximum is one follow-up, maybe after 3 to 4 days is fine. If they don't revert back on it, then don't follow up. Just one follow-up, it's fine. And if they don't come back, you say that I'm really looking forward for a positive response from your end. Even if it is not during this June, I'm happy to intern any other period of time. Give them an option to reconsider your resume in your future days. So this is how you have to have your written skill. I hope you will definitely take few tips and improvise your email communication, your email etiquettes in future. So we saw about our oral and the written communication. Next one is your analytical skill. Reading books is absolutely fine. You know the law because that is what you are learning the entire 5 years of your law college. However, how will you implement it matters a lot. That is where you're going to be a brand for yourself. Today, you have seen there are lawyers who are well known in the fraternity. There are few lawyers, people don't even know them. What is the difference? Both of them have 5 years degree. Both of them would have many a time come from the same institution. The difference is the person who's made a mark for himself, firstly, he's worked hard. Second, he has always been a advisor with a right approach. So analytical skill is when any person come and approach you for a problem, give them some workable, practical solution. If something is strictly forbidden under law, please say that this is forbidden and you cannot be doing it. But if you have a way out, maybe through an exemption letter or representation before regulatory authority, or maybe you can pay some fine and you can get it done. If such workable options are there, please advise them. How well you advise, your workable and practical solutions make a difference. And that is very important for your lawyer. If you really want to be one of the top legal counsel or well known in the litigation, that is where you can make a difference. Just merely studying and knowing what is Section 135 of Companies Act or Section 302 under IPC will not help. How well are you going to implement in your day-to-day job is going to make a difference. Next is your research skill. So when I say research skill, one thing you're very good in your communication. Most of them may not be good in their research. But there are people who are good in their research, but not good in their communication. But having an equal balanced approach between your communication and the research skill is very much important. So let me give you an example here. In case of a research skill, firstly, you have to understand the problem. Most of us fail in understanding what our problem is about. Like Maternity Benefit Act. 2017, there was an amendment in the act. So if you are interning or you are a first day of your job and someone tell you, okay, there's a change amendment in the Maternity Benefit Act, look into it. So what will you do? You will have to take the notification, read what has been amended. Compare it with the existing law, 1961, what was told. Example, in 1961, you were eligible for 12 days of paid leave. In 2017, you're eligible for 26 days of leave. Creche facility was not provided. Now creche facility is mandatory at employer's cost. So these are few changes that you have to read. There are 5 to 6 new amendments. Read both, make a comparative analysis. What was there? What is it? Now you finish your research, but you have to advise your client or you have to advise the company. So next column will be your advice. What are you supposed to do? Now 26 weeks of maternity leave is mandatory. You have to amend your existing maternity leave policy. You have to tie up with the creche facility at the employer's cost. You need to tie up with the insurances to increase the insurance benefit for the women. Are you intending to give this facility only to the women or even to the men? Because most of the companies today are gender neutral. So think, can you extend it for both of them? The creche facility, can you extend it? As a good employer, do you want to give the paternity leave? This is not called out in the act, but this is something which you're thinking. That's where your analytical skill plays a role. Do you want to give 10 days of paternity leave? So these are few things that you can research and do it. So whenever you have to research, firstly, read the section. Second, see whether there is any respective state government notification or rules pertaining to it. Third, read the commentaries for the respective section. Fourth, any case laws or precedents. Even when there is a precedent, there would be instances where the ratio destinity or the end judgment is not favorable to you. But the obiter dicta, that's the observation of the judge, would be favorable to you. So therefore, you have to have a very close understanding of what is favorable and how well can you implement it in your research. So this is how you can go about your research skill. And please don't stick to your research like a horse with blinker. Have a different horizon. Whenever you do the research, especially in moot court competitions, discuss with your co-counsel, like your batchmate. Discuss with your senior. Like, this is the perspective that I understood, how well it can be. The citation. Okay, this is a citation I found. IndiaQanun.com is one thing, or you can think of Manupatra, LexisNexis. Go and search for the right judgments. This is where your research, the moment your research is strong, you will automatically gain confidence when you speak or when you write. Good listener. Lawyers are certainly known for their talking, but what you talk should always be backed up with facts. If a client comes to you, you have to be a good listener to understand their problem. As much as questions that you ask them, you will have a clarity about their problem. So be a good listener. One tip is make notes, because end of the day, you would be speaking to 10 people. You will not be aware of what you spoke, what went wrong, what was a problem, or there would be some minute details that you really want to capture. Just in bullet points, make notes of what you speak, because tomorrow when you look back, you will have a context of the discussion. Second thing, even for a reader or a person who's telling you, he feels, okay, this person is genuine and lending an ear to my problem. So even that creates a positive impression about your personality to your client. Next is interpersonal skill. Interpersonal skill is, I would like to make a mention, whenever you want to face few challenges, you will have to face it all alone. But when you want to handle an assignment, a team matters a lot. If you think all alone I can do everything on this earth, it's not possible. But there are few instances where as a team you have to collaborate and do it well. As much as possible, collaborate with your team. Share your bandwidth. Like, you have just 2 assignments to do. Your colleague is suffering and doing 10 assignments. Go, reach out to them. Give them a moral support. If possible, take 2-3 assignments from them and start working on it. It helps you to enrich your knowledge. And even if you're in a manager level, or if you want to think of that level, have a very good team build-up. Because technically all of us would be good enough, but you would like to associate with a company or a manager who appreciates you and who gives you that support and a right feedback in a timely manner. And even when you want to give a feedback, like you're working for a moot court competition and you are not liking the way your uh, friend is working, like you are just doing everything and you feel that she's not doing anything. So go talk to her. Like, this is what we want to achieve. We want to get back our college, our rolling trophy. But this is a question that I would like to research. Can you please research on the second issue? This is a citation that I've already reviewed. There are 4 more citations. Can you please review on it? Have a very calm, composed approach, because when you want to build a team, how well you talk matters a lot. It's not what you talk, it's how well you talk. So have a strong interpersonal skill, and this all will come over a period of time. Leadership, you have to be a leader. So here I would like to mention about a book, Who Will Die When You Cry by Robin Sharma, or A Leader Without Title, again written by Robin Sharma. These 2 books have immensely helped me to improve my leadership skill. A leader should always lead by an example. How well you conduct a meeting. How do you talk to people? Are you really genuinely taking care of your stakeholder? How are you sharing your bandwidth? All these things will be a good leader. As much as possible, please be good with your team, good with your colleagues, good with your fraternity people, because you never know at which point in time where the network is going to be and they're going to help you back. So be a very good leader. Next is care for your stakeholder. Anyone who approaches to you, firstly, be a good listener with them, understand their problem and give them workable solution, so that your good listening skills and analytical skills are definitely going to play an important role here. So to conclude, work on your oral and communication skill. I've shared few tips on how to improve your communication through having a diction, maintaining your own journal. I've explained you how to write an email. Definitely, all these things, a few tips I've given it to you. You all can work on it, improve on your analytical skill, have a better research skill. I've given you an example how to go about. Read the section, rules, followed by the commentaries and the case laws and precedents. Have conversation with people who are expert in the field because their experience is going to help you. Be a good listener, make notes, which is important. Aim at having a very good team because you cannot grow always all alone. Make other people also to grow along with you. You will be well known for it. So now I've told you how to improve all the skills, and these are important skills. Now, as most of you are students, let's see how to do it. Your soft skill and your professional or your technical skills are very much important. College life is the golden life, like everyone say. Have good amount of fun, but at the same point in time, have a very clear career. Where do you want to see yourself? That is important. So when I say the soft skill, one thing which really helped me is mirror exercise. Let me confess or admit in front of all of you, the first year of law college, I was really not a good orator. If anyone asked me to hold a mic and speak, I would be so nervous that I wouldn't definitely want to speak or all those things. So at that point in time, mirror exercise helped me a lot. If possible, approach any soft skill trainer who can customize a package for you. Or there are a lot of videos and sessions which is available on YouTube. You can see and start implementing for yourself if money is a constraint. Mirror exercises, I hope most of you know Rajnikant, who is a very famous actor in Tamil industry. Rajnikant is definitely not handsome. He didn't have any acting skills. The only thing that he had was his style. That was his strength. Every day he would have rejections. People would not take him to be a hero. He used to come back and see the mirror and speak to himself and start changing his body language, like how his eyes should be, his hand movement, his body gesture. All these things he started observing slowly and started rectifying them. And gradually this became a habit to him. And once when Balchandar saw him when he was doing his mirror exercise, said that this person is my hero. So the mirror exercise has immensely helped me. What you do is just take 5 minutes every morning, maybe immediately when you wake up or before going to your job or your college. 5 minutes, stand in front of a mirror and speak. Introduce yourself. Your introduction will be who you are, where you want to see yourself, and just 1 or 2 motivational quotes saying that I can do it. Yesterday it was not fine, but today I will be better. This motivation, because most of the time self-motivation is more important. We fail to talk to ourselves. We fail to motivate ourselves. We think that what people judge about us is true. That's not true. There is an inner potential which you have to understand and you have to take it forward. Mirror exercise will immensely help you to improve your body language, and that has personally helped me a lot. Next is podcast. There are great orators, maybe Obama, Shashi Thakur. The great people, listen to them, how well they talk, the pause, the punctuations, all these things. Be very keen listener and you can implement it. Diction, I've already spoken in my previous slide. The next is your voice recording. What happens is most of us will not be confident to speak. You have to improve your confidence level, especially when you're in college. A couple of them are blessed, like they can just take a mic and randomly talk. Few of us may be very technically sound enough, we know everything. But the moment we are asked to come to a platform or a stage and speak, we are nervous and we totally forget. This has happened to me as well. But how to improve it? Just take a piece of paper, a newspaper article or a blog, read it and record on day 1. For next 7 days, just read the same article. 7th day, read it and record once again. So what happens, your day 1 and day 7, you will see the immense change in how you spoke. Reason, you know the content, you're confident about what you're speaking. Third, you would have improved on your punctuations. You know where is the full stop, you have to pause. There is a comma, there's an exclamation mark. So automatically you had a voice modulation. So this helps you to improve your confidence and your vocabulary. So mirror exercise, podcast, diction, having your own dictionary, and later it's about your voice recording. These are 5 tips which has helped me and may help all of you if you implement to improve your soft skill. Leadership role. I'm telling you from that time that you should be a good leader. How to do it? Even if you fail, it's okay. But take an opportunity in college union. You may be a head or you may be the president of the college, or you may be a legal aid president or whatever, maybe cultural secretary. One thing, you'll have a lot of exposure. You will get in touch with people in the fraternity. Like if you have to host a moot court, you will get in connection with a lot of law colleges, other law colleges students. You will get in touch with a lot of practicing advocates who will be the judge for your moot court. It builds your network. Next, you will do a budget planning. How much you should spend, where to spend, what gift to buy. You start thinking about it. You build a team, because it's not a one-person show. It's not a one-man show. There is a team which is working together. You will talk, how well to talk, how to make the things happen. Time management, that's what you will learn, because moot court is on a particular day. You have to work backwards and prepare for each and every activity. Reminder calls to the advocates, sending an invite. You will improve your email communication. Having a memento to give it to them. What is the content that goes? You think about it. You start working with your teachers. You start working with your college principal, your fellow students. So leadership role can, one good platform is when you're in college. So as much as possible, get involved in any such activity. Just don't stick yourself to academics. Good enough to study, but at the same point in time, when you enhance your extracurricular and co-curricular activities in college, your resume is going to be very strong. And let's look at how to improve your professional skill. So professional skill is, one is your moot court. Most of us, moot court competitions may be organized from the college, or it would be outside. Even individually, if you can go and participate, or you can build a team and go and participate, good enough. Winning or failure is a secondary thing. Participation is most important. End of the day, even if your resume says that I participated in so and so moot, will have an impact. So in the moot court, few tips which I learned from my seniors and which helped me is, firstly, dress appropriately on the day of the moot court competition. Never leave your hair loose. Your hair should never be distracting to you. Don't have a very jazzy jewelry, maybe a ring or a bangles, which is irritating. No. It may be Western or an Indian attire. It's fine, but something which you can carry yourself well. Don't have any dark color nail paints or very high heels. You should be comfortable, because the moot court competition is the entire day process. You'll have your prelims, semi-final, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals. So you have to, previously you would be preparing so much, may not have a good sleep as well. The following day you have to implement all these things. So be very comfortable in your attire. The next thing is, how well you present yourself is important. Your research is already done. Apart from what is mentioned in your memorials, have your additional topics mentioned in a notebook. Maybe when there is a question posed to you, you can give an instant answer. Secondly, don't get irritated when a judge asks you any question. Bow yourself, have a calm, composed approach, have a smile, and then respond to them. That creates a positive impression about you. Thirdly, if you don't know an answer, plead ignorance. If you know, or your co-counsel is going to handle it, tell that my co-counsel will deal with this contention, and give room to them. If you're running out of time, ask the judge whether you can continue by pleading another 5 to 10 minutes additional grace time. If they say yes, only then continue. Just don't keep blabbering them. Finally, when you step back, bow yourself and step back from the podium. These are few things which is going to give an additional marks of what you present, because most of them, which even when I have judged the moot courts, not just as a participant, I see students are not very courteous to the court. That doesn't create a positive impression. And the moment you're courteous to the court, extra 5 to 10 marks will be just on your courtesy. How well have you dressed? How courteous were you to the court? Did you give a right answer to the question raised by the judge? Did you convince them? Like most of them say, if you can't convince, confuse the judge. So even that is definitely going to help. So internships is very important for a law student. When I was studying, internship was definitely not mandatory for us, but Now I understand in most of the syllabus, internship is mandatory. How to do? Where to intern? Two prominent questions. How to think about internship? Just don't think that internship is part of your syllabus. End of the day, I should have an internship, go and submit the report. No. Internship is something, your target in the internship is to enrich your knowledge, not just the certificate that you get after 1 month. To enrich your internship, focus on the problems or the questions that's been given to you. If you're not understanding, please go talk to them, talk to your mentor and say that this is what it is. I'm stuck in between. Please help me. How to access to Manupatra? How to do my research? What exactly do you want an end result? Talk to them. Because when you create, or when a student shows a lot of curiosity, there are people who genuinely want to hire them in a later date. Because this is my own personal experience. Just because I was good in my internship days, my first job where I got, it was through a reference where my sir referred me saying, this is a good company, please go and work there. So how well you conduct yourself matters, because that helps you to build your network and reference on a future date. Where to intern? So where to intern is, please don't stick to interning only in law firms or just with practicing advocate or NGO. Have a varied internship. Your internship can be a mixture of all this thing. First year, you can think of doing it in an NGO. But the best way of doing it is, the year when you have a particular subject, go and intern with them. If you have IPC and CRPC, intern with a criminal lawyer. When you have company law, intern in a company or corporate law advisory. So your technical and your professional skills both are going to tag together, because in college you just read the textbook, but how to implement, that's what you're going to learn in your internship. So that helps you to be a better person and enrich your knowledge. Because the year you go and intern with a criminal lawyer and you don't have any knowledge about what is CPC, what is CRPC, who is a magistrate, what is a first judicial magistrate, what is bail, what is anticipatory bail, you don't know anything, then you will not enjoy what you're doing. But if you have a context, you can even ask really good questions to your sir and he will definitely help you. As much as possible, participate in debate competitions, legal quiz. You can even write articles. See, most of the time I hear students telling me, ma'am, I want to write an article, but I don't know where to write, who is going to help. One thing where, as a professional, I write the articles in the CS newsletter and magazines, which is completely for CS fraternity. Otherwise, why do you want to look at the other magazines? LinkedIn is a very good platform. You can post your article in LinkedIn. It's okay. There will be people who will read it. They'll come back with a feedback. Because first time when I wrote article, I think 8 years back, when I wrote the article, it was in my final year of college. I didn't know. I wrote the article for 3 pages. I sent it to one of the sir and said me, an article should not exceed more than 1.5 page. No one will read. Then I sat and concised it. As much as possible, I gave a very impactful research on it. Initially, it was so elaborated. Now it became more impactful. Today, my article doesn't run more than a page. And I always choose current affairs. Current affairs is something which motivate people to read. Like now, COVID-19, there are a lot of label or notifications. You can write an article on that. Choose the current real affairs and write articles. And next is, you have to attend or master your skill. 5 years of law, you read varied topics, but you should have one strength area. Drafting and negotiation is one good thing. There are a lot of online classes on it. Like I took up a class from Law Seeker, which helped me a lot. You can take up the label or compliance. You can read on Posh. At least aim of having 1 or 2 online certification courses to master your skill. So let's imagine, for example, you are a person who want to apply for a job. And there are 2 resumes in front of you. One person just studied, have good academic background. Whereas the second resume, the person is participated in moot court and won in the moot courts. The person has at least 1 or 2 of online certification on drafting, mergers, amalgamation, intellectual property, whatever. They have at least 2 certification courses. Person was in leadership role, was in college union, well known in the fraternity. So when this happens, I will choose the second resume. I think most of you also would choose the second resume because good in academics, you have shown your leadership skill in being part of the union. You have showed your work life or educational balance because you've done your academics plus some online courses that shows your interest to develop your skill. You have done your internship in varied law college. You have done your internship with the NGOs. You've done it with the company. So you have varied exposure, which is important. And if you have even interned while going to college, that shows your time management. Certainly, I'll pick up the second resume. So today, just forget about what was your life all this while. Just sit down today and create an imaginary resume for your own self. 5 years down the line, or maybe next year graduate, in next 1 year, what am I going to do? At least one more code, one certification course, one more internship. I will make my resume strong. This is a challenge and an oath that I want each one of you to take for yourself. I had done this 5 years back. Where the first day when I went to college, I saw a brown board. And I asked one of a teacher, like, ma'am, what is this? They said the best student's name will be on the board. And that day I told, the first day of my college, my name will be there. I'll be the best student. And 5 years down the line, it happened. So you should challenge it. I was not a good orator. I didn't know how to write an article, as I told you. I was not good in moot court competitions, but all these things I started learning as a process. I failed. I had no good handwriting, trust me, but I learned calligraphy writing because our law examinations are such a huge paper. You have to write 5 pages for one question, and how to write, I really didn't understand. My handwriting also was not good. I learned calligraphy. I improved my handwriting. So understand your weakness, start developing on it, because all of them are very slow process. And end of 5 years or end of 10 years, you will see the difference in your own self. And end of the day, never ever challenge yourself with someone else. Someone else should be your role model. Like my college principal used to tell, whenever you are thinking that you are in downside, think of a person who's poorer than you. But when you want to grow up, compare yourself with a person who is better than you. So here, every day I want you to challenge with your own self. Morning, wake up and ask, like yesterday, what went wrong? How can I make it better today? I didn't score well in political science examination last time. It's okay. This time I will score. My moot court, I didn't perform well. But next moot, I will give my best. Start working on your weaknesses. So an assignment for all of you is calm, composed manner, sit, draft an imaginary resume. Any person who see your resume should not have one iota of doubt or one point to reject it. That's a goal setting that I want each student who is attending this webinar to do for themselves. Opportunities for law college after graduation. I think most of us would have taken this course either by choice or by chance. Not sure. Like I choose this because my passion was law. Even now, if someone asks me if there is any other course that you could study, I say no. Even if I have an other birth, I want to be a lawyer. And that's something which drives me very close to my heart. So here, before I take you to each of the opportunity, I request you to listen to your inner calling. Each one of us have an inner calling. Maybe you are happy doing litigation, or you like only sitting in a place and doing a research and be an advisor, or you like to interact with the people. So you can think of becoming a PRO, or you really want to make a difference in the society. You can choose UPSC examinations. What is your inner calling is very much important. You have to sit and analyze your strength and weakness. You may be not good in your drafting skill. Take up online course. You're not a good orator. I've shared few tips on communication. Do that. Will definitely help you. Or there are a lot of podcasts or personal tutors. Take their consent and do it. So these are few things that you can think of and do in your life. And firstly, listen to your inner calling. Understand your strength and weakness. Master your strength, improve on your weaknesses. I repeat, master on your strength and improve your weakness. It's only you who should judge yourself. Never give the key of your happiness to someone else and say that because of my parents I couldn't achieve, because of my in-laws I couldn't. No. Come out of the barriers that you have created for your own self. If you won, you won. If you lost it. Start taking responsibility for your happiness and your suffering, because it's you who's made it end of the day. The third thing is, as I told you, do an imaginary resume for yourself today. Or it may be like a goal sheet. If you're a junior lawyer, where do you want to see? You want to be one of the prominent, well-known lawyer? You can. Sky is the limit. If you want to make a difference, you can certainly do the difference. It's just that finer tweaks that is very much required. So when I say the opportunities, my personal advice to all of you, immediately after your graduation, please write the Bar Council examination, get your Bar Council membership. Even if you go to your corporate, keep it under suspension, because once you're in employment, you can't file the Wakalatnama. But it's always good to have your Bar Council membership, because you don't know when the rules is going to change, what next needs to be done. And if you take a membership, you can definitely practice law. Second is, if research is your core area, you like doing research, get into a firm which helps you in the advisory, maybe advisory only on labor law or Companies Act, which is your interest area. Get into such firm. Thirdly, UPSC. As I told you, if you really want to make a difference in the society, write your UPSC examination. You can become an IAS, IPS, KS, whatever. If that is what you want, do it. Or someone like me, you can, if you want to become an in-house counsel, the next 2 slides will be completely dedicated on that. I'll explain you how to take it up. But you can even think of becoming an in-house counsel, which most of the students don't think of. I just see students telling only 3 things. I want to litigate, I want to join law firm, or I'll write my UPSC civil service examination. Apart from that, I've not seen people having a varied horizon of what they want to do. Judiciary, I've seen most in Assam, Chhattisgarh. I've seen my friends who've written their examination and become munsif today. If you want to do that, it's a good thing. Defense, Navy, Air Force also have vacancies for lawyers. You have to very consciously see their website. Whenever there is a call for, you have to pay a very nominal fees and write the examination, and you will have one physical test, and you can join defense. Professor, pursue a LLM and become a lecturer or professor. Good option. Journalism is also a good thing, because most of the newspaper agencies today need a lawyer in order to help them with the editorials, to even the reporting also. You can master in that and do your work. Legal content writer, most of the blogs today or you require a legal content writer. You can even think of it. So here I have given you all the options that's available, but I will not say you which option you have to choose. I'm not here to say all of you should become a corporate lawyer. I'm not here to say all of you should practice law. I'm here to say that don't do a monotonous job, because after a year you can't withstand it. Do a job which gives you utmost satisfaction. Success will definitely follow. You should be satisfied. When you sleep end of the day, you should feel that, yes, I made a difference in someone's life. I gave back to my fraternity. The amount of satisfaction what you get from your job will keep you running in long run. Because once I asked one of my sir, he gets up at 7:30, 8 o'clock to night 11 o'clock, he is just litigation. I said, so how can you sit in the office for such a long time? He said that it's not money. Every time I read a case law, every time I see the judgment, and when I interact with the clients, that's the utmost satisfaction. It's been 45 years he's practicing now, and the zeal that he has, it's tremendous. And he enjoys doing it. Your job should be your enjoyment. It should be like a game that you are playing with utmost satisfaction. So understand your strength and weakness, do your imaginary CV, improve on your weakness, and choose a profession which is important. Don't go behind money. You may feel corporate gives you money, but end of the day, if you're not enjoying it, it's not worth it. You may want to make a difference in the world, but if you can't withstand the corruption, you should be a strong person to fight against it. UPSC is a good platform. Be an officer who can be right in that. Be a remarkable example in the fraternity. That's important. Are you ready to become a corporate lawyer? So this and the next slide, both is going to focus on how to become a corporate lawyer. Because I'm a corporate lawyer, it's been 7 years. Initial 1 year I did litigation, but later I chose, as I finished my CS, corporate lawyer is something, was my inner calling. I really enjoyed what I was supposed to do. First example or first request to you, don't get into an LPO, don't do a monotonous job. Because after 2 years, if you don't learn, if you don't enrich your knowledge, you will not be in the market after 5 years. You have to be in a job which helps you to grow, which helps you to enrich your knowledge. So how will you do that? Each one of you should have at least one core strength. Maybe your drafting and negotiation would be a core strength, or labor or compliance would be a strong. Or for me as a company secretary, company law is my strength. one strong strength should be there. That should be your main crux of your job. Aim at joining a company which is small in size, but you get exposure of doing all sort of work. Because all the jobs which I have taken, I have learned, done varied activities. You have to have a balanced approach of drafting contracts, advising on labor law, posh compliances, company act, maybe real estate matter, how to do a lease deed, all these things. So aim of becoming a general legal counsel rather than sticking yourself to a job and doing the same job throughout 9 to 6. Because after a point, you will not appreciate how many contracts can you really draft. Maybe maximum 20 contracts. What more can you do that? And end of the day, it's a minor tweak. Even if it is a labor law, your loss, yeah, in COVID-19 situation, most of notifications have come up. Otherwise, we have very age-old fashioned law. Companies Act also the same thing. It got repealed in 2013, and even now they're amending every day. I don't know when it's going to stop. But have one strength, that should be a core area. All the others should be your general counsel, because once there are very limited general counsels in the market today. Once you master in all of them, it's easy for you to become a good legal counsel in a very early stage of your life. And here, lastly, I've mentioned about the compliance of the MNCs. Most of the MNCs are UK and US based. So there is a new compliance called as Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, which is similar to our Anti-Corruption Act, which says that you are not supposed to bribe a government official. You give an undertaking, and this is a compliance activity which you have to do. MNCs, there is a portfolio only for compliance, so you can even think of doing it. So please master, understand which is your core area, and start supplementing. All the rest should be your ancillary area. If you're having an equal knowledge on all of this, that's great. You can really be a general counsel in a very early stage. The climbing your ladder, it's not hard. How to climb a corporate ladder? Once you finish your academics, there's just a certificate. Nothing more is going to come out of that certificate. There's just an entry for you to get into a job. But if you have to sustain in the job, grow in the job, sustain and grow, you have to update yourself every day. When I say update, it's not updating only about what is happening. You should be aware of the current affairs. You should be aware of what are the changes that's happening in your company, so that you can give a timely advice to them. That's important for you. Every day spend 20 minutes, maybe 10 minutes for newspaper, 10 minutes for your company related changes and update, which is very much important for you. Understand your industry. Like now I work for an IT/ITS sector. It is important for me to know if there is any rule that has changed, like OSP guidelines is recently changing for IT/ITS. I should be aware of it. When I was in Prestige, it was a real estate. That was a time when RERA legislation was implemented. I should have to read RERA and do my job. So knowing your industry is very much important. Only then you can connect with the changes that's happening in the law and give a timely advice. Networking. Most of the students have a problem of networking. How to network, with whom should we network? LinkedIn. Firstly, LinkedIn is a very good platform for you to network. You can share a friend request or a connection request in LinkedIn and read their articles, comment on it. Okay, it's just not liking, comment on it. If there is some positive article, comment and give your view, opinion on it. If you want an internship, connect with your seniors or your college pass out, because today there are people from my college who come and intern under me, because they would have seen me when I was in final year. They would be in the just join the college and they know me, so now they come and intern under me. So having a contact with your seniors help a lot. With your batchmates help a lot, because you are in Bangalore, your batchmate would be somewhere in Mumbai. If there's a career opportunity, they can just call you and inform you on that. So that's another way of networking. That is within your circle. The third level of networking is with your seniors. Senior here is your teachers, professors, or someone, your ex-mentor under whom you interned. That is a third level of networking. And the fourth level of networking is how have you made a brand for your own self. Branding for you is very much important. You should be a brand for your own self. That's the reason I told you, write an article in LinkedIn. So it shows this girl has a potential. The moot court competitions that you have attended and you became a best mooter. people will remember you. Like once I attended a debate, I won in the debate. After 3 years, the judge met me in a court hall and he said that you were in that debate. I had totally forgotten. I said, yes, sir, I was in that debate. And he said, me, you argued well. Why are you in corporate now? You should have been in litigation. I said, maybe I'll come back sometime later, sir. So that's different, but you became a brand for yourself. Someone of the fraternity higher than you, acknowledging that you are good. That's a brand that you created for yourself. Having a close connect on LinkedIn with your own batchmates, seniors, your peer group, with your professors, that's the third level. Fourth is when you are making your own brand and people acknowledging and doing it, that's your fourth. And the final is your previous internship where you have worked, your seniors, they can certainly help you. So this is a mind of doing your networking. Always when you give advice, give a business friendly advice. Don't just be like a showstopper saying you can't do this. If it is forbidden, yes, it's forbidden. But if not, as much as possible, give a workable solution. And that is very much appreciated in corporate, because in corporate, legal is a small team and we are more like a cost center. We don't generate any income to the company. So if you want to make any sort of a brand internally, have a right advice. Find a mentor, which is a very important crux for all of you, because when you become a mentor or when you have a mentor for you, it helps you to enlarge your horizon of thinking. So mentor would be your professor, or even in your office, have a mentor. Like you don't understand GST. Maybe someone in the tax department will be your mentor. Just go approach them. What is this GST? What is the SEC regulations? What is the difference that they are doing? Find that mentor and understand it. Next one is do your homework. So when I say do your homework, there are two angles to it. One, if you are an organizer or if you are doing a presentation, understand end to end of what you want to present. Example would be like corporate social responsibility. Section 135 is very clear of what is CSR, what is not CSR. But a non-legal person will not understand, including, notwithstanding to, or a word like limited, but including, save as otherwise provided. These are legal words only we should understand, and that's good only we understand because our job is secure. The rest really don't understand it. Prepare a policy or a guidance note so that it's for an internal absorption. Any person who read it should be very clear. 2% is mandatory spend, more than 2% take a board approval, maximum 5%, above 5% stakeholder approval. What is CSR? What is not CSR? There is Schedule 7. There are a few items called out in Schedule 7. When should you reach to the board for a board approval? So these are very small things in a, say, about 2 to 3 page. It should be like an internal note for a person. The moment they read it, they should understand this is what the law says. Secondly, that is made your branding. Anyone ask any question to you? Okay, CSR? Okay, this is a person. She's prepared a guidance note. She's my go-to person. I will go ask a question to her, find a solution to it. So be very clear and crystal and give the advice. Don't wait to be told. Start taking initiatives. If there is a new amendment, go up to the person. If you don't have bandwidth, I can understand, but go up to the person, take that initiative, say that, yes, I will do the research on this. I will prepare a guidance note. I will understand the notification, respond to it. So start taking initiatives and doing your activities. Challenge the current thinking. When I say challenge, if you are joining to a company which is age old, 50, 60 years, now today I am in a startup. Previously also I was in a startup organization. Our legal team itself was very new. It was easy for others also to make them understand. But my first organization was 60 years old. They had already a set of thought process. It was very difficult to change it. But how can you do it? Have a right research, back up with facts. This was good 50 years back. But today, the new activities is definitely going to make a difference. You have to step up and challenge. If you think I get a pay slip, yes, very soon you'll even get your pink slip. If you only back up with facts and have a right thinking and analytical skill, you can make a difference. Be a good team player. I've spoken about it a lot. Share your bandwidth. Appreciate a person. As much as possible, give them a timely positive and negative feedback for them to improve. Only when you're a good team player, a team is going to be strong. Your punctuality. Today, most of us work on a flexi timing, but being punctual to your meetings, it's very much important. Be self-disciplined, have a confidence. Whenever you speak, your confidence level is very much important. Your confidence is come one in your oral communication. Second is when you have fact to speak. And I've spoken about how to improve your communication skill. Next one is your LinkedIn. I've even asked you to post your research articles on that. Right networking is possible on LinkedIn. Even if there is a vacancy, you can look at it and apply for it. So have a very professional approach right from day one of your college, because if you are very lethargic in your initial days of your career, the later part is going to be very hard, especially in corporate. As much as you can learn, as much as you can improvise your knowledge in first 2-3 years, you have to just do that, because that's a time for you to learn, and people are also happy to teach you. But if you just leave it and later if you think I will do, people are not going to respect you, because after that you are in a managing position, you're not in a learning position. Next is just that implementation phase. I see most of the students being in dilemma of doing a additional qualification like CS, CA, CWA, or most of them would have enrolled for these courses, but giving one answer. Like whenever I ask any intern who is intern under me, they say that, ma'am, I've registered for CS, but I don't find time to read it. If you don't find time for your career, who is going to find time for it? Do you think I will take out time for you to study CS? That's not going to happen. Even when I was pursuing CS, not just me, all of them who have done simultaneously 2 professional courses, all of us have had a very hard life. We wouldn't have attended friends' wedding. Social gatherings were not there. There are days when we have not even watched movies. Those small enjoyments were sacrificed in order to get the big result. Small pleasure, give up. It's okay when you have something really big waiting for you. And once you're very dedicated for any of these courses, you will make your mark. I'll tell you how company secretary course helped me. I finished my law. I was pursuing CS simultaneously. My final year of law, I finished the executive. Later, I did my internship and the final profession. If you are pursuing CS, you will really understand how tough it is. You will write well, you will lose in the aggregate, and that's a pain. Trust me, it's pain to see the word fail. Even I didn't clear my profession in the first attempt. I gave a second attempt and I cleared it. And you will see people who are so age old. Once I saw a person who was almost 55 years and I asked him, sir, why are you writing this examination? You're already a CFO of a company. He said, I don't want to give up in this phase. He just had one paper, and unfortunately he had taxation paper. He was a CFO of a company and he was writing the same repeated attempts. He never gave up on the attempt. And he said, I want the day when I say I'm a CACS. That should be your ambition. You may fail. You may not have your personal life for a short span of time, like 2-3 years, you will not have your personal space. You finish your law exam, immediately CS exam. You finish CS exam, immediately you will have a college reopening. Very jam-packed schedule. But end of the day, once you have your dual degree, your resume will have a better weightage, even if you're practicing or if you're in a company. Your corporate law advisory, if something which you're aiming at, this is a platform very good for you. You are like a corporate IAS. I enjoy conducting board meetings personally, because I will have a visibility to the board. My board of directors know me. If there are 12,000 employees, it's only top level people will be aware of, like very high level, like MD of the company will be aware of head of legal or head of HR. But a company secretary for very junior level also will be known, because you're conducting a board meeting. You have visibility of all the strategic decisions that they take. You are like a go-to person. You're like a gatekeeper, what to do, what not to do. And it's like an IAS officer. You are just being a governing body to the entire organization. You can certainly take that pride if a company is going in a right direction without any notice from the MC, any other notice from the regulatory body. You have governed your company well. That's the biggest joy that you can think of end of the day. And especially with the dual qualification of LLB CS, it's a deadly combination. Any job postings today, you see, instead of hiring 2 people, they'll hire 1 person with dual qualification, because you can do 2-time job. So this is something which I recommend. CA and CWA is also good enough. I don't speak much about it because I have not studied both. But however, if you are interested in taxation, finance, please do CA. And if you're more interested in the cost work accountants, you can do that. But if you need any help, you can personally write to me. I can help you on CA through contacts. But CS, you can really consider it. Or even if you can't do a full-fledged professional course, my advice would be at least do 1 or 2 online courses when you're pursuing your 5 years of law, because your resume matters a lot. End of the day, your inner satisfaction that you made a difference during your curriculum, during your studies, is also very much important.
Ma'am, can you mention particular certified courses that we could attend during this lockdown period? There are a lot of fake certified courses online. So if you could mention some of them in particular.
Okay, so I can speak about the courses which I took. I am currently doing a course from XLRI on labor law. That's good enough. Second, I did a drafting course. I took a course for finance for non-finance students, which was organized by CA chapter. That was also very helpful. And if you really want, there are courses offered by Harvard University. It's a paid course that's going to help you. CS and CA chapter also have many certified courses. Understand your interest and take up the course. Please go for an organization which is reputed in the market. And if you get any credentials of people who've already passed out, you can have a conversation with them before taking such courses.
Great. So the next question is, while counseling the client in office, what are the important aspects which should help the advocate? Should the advocate tell the acts and the rules and information relating to the client's problem? I think this basically means educating the client.
Okay. The first and foremost thing, if I'm a practicing lawyer, you will definitely have some brief of why is that person meeting you. Maybe if he has a land dispute, he's going to definitely tell you, I want to discuss with you regarding the land dispute that I have. First of all, you do your homework well. You should know what is the Land Acquisition Act and what is a partition. If it is a Hindu law, talk about the Partition or Succession Act. So first and foremost thing, you have to prepare. First. Second, you be a good listener. Listen to his problem. Don't jump and start explaining about the act. He will not understand. And good thing he doesn't understand, so that he's hiring you. So it's important for you to understand his problem. Third, once you understand his problem, ask appropriate questions to him. Like, assuming it is a partition case. Okay. You ask him, are you a class 1 heir or class 2 heir? So class 1 heir is he a son or daughter or wife? So you will have a first say in the property. How can you ask questions? Only when you are acquainted with the law. Instead of explaining him about the law, ask the questions so that you get much more clarity on the brief. Fourthly, see whether there is any case already pending. Is there any other litigation pending in that matter? So this is the way you should have your initial discussion with the client. Then come up with the alternate solutions. A client will always approach you when you give him a solution. One thing, you can just file a partition suit, or you can ask him to go to Lokadalat. If he is a poor person, go to Lokadalat and they will help you. Tell him about the legal aid help that he can get. Or mediation is also one of the options. If there are 4-5 brothers, get into mediation, settle the dispute among themselves. So explain the other pros and cons of the options available and give them a right amount of time to choose the best option to them. And one thing, you have done your research. Second, you will have a satisfaction that you gave a right advice. Third, that person will refer you other clients. Because if you say that, yes, come, let's go and file the case, this is the best matter to be fought before the court of law, after a period of time, he will not respect you. But if you give him varied option like mediation, partition, or Lokadalat, understanding his problem, be more a friendly approach. I'm not saying that you should be friend, but have a friendly approach. That is going to take you long run.
Wonderful advice. One more question, actually quite a few questions. We see a huge gap in what we study in law school and what skills we need to prepare for the profession. Can you guide us on how to prep oneself to face the workplace with confidence and have fulfilling career without getting frustrated by the workplace related hurdles?
Okay. So this is something which most of us have failed to know in the college days. So college days, our teachers just teach about the sections, which is very much important because first and foremost thing, attend the college regularly and pose as many as questions during your class hours. So if a person is teaching you about Companies Act, corporate social responsibility, one day before, read that section, and if possible, if you have any doubts, get it clarified. That gives you stimulates your brain and gets registered better. How to improve your skill? Firstly, in corporate, or if you want to be a good person, your interpersonal skills is very much important. Your body gesture, how well do you dress, how do you communicate, all these things is a very slow process. In today's session, I've shared few tips on how to improve your communication. Start implementing all of them. Most of the time what happens with student is, like previously also when I've held this similar session in other colleges, day 1 and day 2 I received emails saying, ma'am, I have done it, I've started maintaining my journal, it's so good. Almost for a month I see students responding to me saying I've improved, but after that I just see a dip. They will totally forget. They say, ma'am, I had examinations, I couldn't do it. Ma'am, I'm so sorry, there was a family gathering, I cannot do it. If you don't take time for your own self, you can't master your skill. So this should be a consistent approach for you to carry on. Your interpersonal skills don't happen overnight, trust me. It is like burning midnight oil. Your body gesture, like first when I had to speak, my hands would be so white and I would have a closed approach. Then once I got a feedback saying, one, we felt that your hands were shaking too much, so it was disturbing for us. Then I realized, yes, it should be in the shoulder level. I learned it through my mirror exercise. So this is something which you have to customize and regularly implement doing it. That's how you can improve your soft skill. And soft skill plays a very important role. Technical skill, you are anyways learning in college. Third one, mastering your skill. Identify what is very close to your heart. For you, drafting is so close. You like drafting, take up online courses. If you have to think of company law, CS is a good option. Start doing it. It is an additional effort, but it's worth the effort. Because if you aim at the age of 30, 40 to study CS, it is not going to happen. Finish your academics completely, then get into employment. Because the moment you get into employment, you will lose the interest of studying and you will have a lot of personal commitments of marriage and all those things that come in place. So please focus on your academics. If possible, parallelly try to complete both of them. Like I have seen students who have parallelly completed both and they're doing really well. Focus on all those things. So your technical from college, soft skill is few tips, and YouTube is also definitely going to help. My advice, even if you spend few amount of 5,000, have a personal coach, understand your weakness, and they will definitely train you. And that's really helped me. And the third is your networking, which is very much important. Online certification courses, additional courses that you can pursue.
Great. One more question, and which is consistently asked by everyone.
Okay.
Which is a good online reference for learning legal drafting, or is it something we have to learn by ourselves?
Okay. So one, this is something which even I have done a lot of research. And in India, fortunately, there is no many organizations which offer you drafting course. So only one platform which I found was LawSeco, and it was 1 year course which I studied and it helped me a lot. It is just not the assignment which they give, it is an effort that even you have to put in and do it. If you don't have time or money, because the course is somewhere around 30,000 rupees, and if you cannot afford it, another tip that I can give you is there's a website called Contract Standards. Okay, this Contract Standards has ready-made templates and ready-made alternative clauses as well. So indemnification, there is 5 different indemnification clauses available readily on the website. Read it, start drafting it, and that will gradually help you to improve your skills. So you can take a paid course, or if you have a consistent approach, you can even refer to Law Insider or your Contract Standards and do the work.
Another question is, if after LLB we give BCI exam and get registered with the bar, will we be able to join a corporate law firm, or do we have to first do the suspension of registration? If so, what is the procedure to register for litigation? Do we have to give the exam all over again?
So BCI examination is the first recommendation. Once you clear your law, please write your BCI examination and get your membership number. If you're joining a law firm, you need not suspend it. Okay. But if you're joining a company, you cannot practice at all because it amounts to dual employment and you cannot be eligible to write your wakalat nama. It's a very simple thing. Go to your respective bar association. For me in Karnataka, I have to go to Bangalore Bar Association, say that I'm in employment and this is my membership number. I will be under suspension. So what happens in suspension? Your annual fees which you have to pay, you need not pay it. And my advice is, as much as possible, finish off all your academics before you start working. And even if you're in a firm, a law firm, hold on to your membership number, because one day if you have to just go to the court all of a sudden and represent, you have your BCI number along with you. So that's a win-win situation for you and the firm as well.
Another question is, what skills do I need to develop if I were to apply for the judiciary?
Judiciary, they will have their exclusive training once you pass out your judicial examination, how to write the judgment, how to arrive at a ratio decidendi or obiter dicta. All those things are the one-year training program which will be given in the judiciary. But to write the examination, you should be very much aware of all the courses, all the subjects that you study in your law college, firstly. Second, there is already a lot of law books that's available to prepare for judiciary. Those books will focus on how to write the judgment, because your first examination is just your technical skill. Second examination is how are you going to interpret the case and give the judgment, for which ready-made books are available in most of the law shops. You can just connect with them and procure the book. Third is your viva, that is completely based on your understanding of law. Once you clear all these three, you will have one-year training program where they will train you how to interpret the law, how should you write the judgment, what is persuasive value, what is binding effect, and they will help you further.
A lot of the students in the lockdown don't know which are the books to refer to because they just need to pass the time. So can you recommend some books for them to read in this lockdown?
Okay, so when I say the recommendation, my first thing is start attending the webinars, because these webinars are going to increase your horizon of thinking. Dedicate at least 1 or 2 hours for webinar and attend those, because in LinkedIn also I see many webinars that's coming up. Second, have a balanced approach of improving your soft skill and professional skills. So soft skill, as the books which help me, like I really enjoy reading autobiographies. I have read I Dare and from Kiran Bedi. I've read Wings of Fire of Abdul Kalam. So these books, the few insights or how they tackle their problem will be a learning experience to you. Or leadership skill, Robin Sharma's, most of the books are very good. You can read them. But if you're talking about what are the technical books, I think at this point in time, you have to pick up the legislations and start reading. Like POSH, it's a very small legislation. Read, interpret. There are a lot of articles on that. Read those articles from renowned firms like Nishvitha, like CAM, SAM, all of them have articles on that. Read those articles, try to understand the interpretation. Go to indiakanun.com or your Manupatra if you have paid access to it. See the case laws. So you are interpreting and understanding the law better for yourself. Or as I quoted, if you want to improve your drafting skill, Contract Standards is a very good platform to get the alternate clauses and to do it.
How do you create your own brand as a fresher?
Okay. One thing is LinkedIn. As I told you, writing articles on LinkedIn helps you. Second, if you're one in the moot court competitions, you're building your network. So that's another way of building a brand. Just don't go for a moot court competition, debate competition for the sake of participation. Your ultimate game should be to win it. But at least you should participate end of the day. Don't think participation is the only thing, so I'm going here. And it's not a fun time. That's another way of building a brand for yourself. The third way is connecting through social service. Like you can host any sessions. You can be a team of people, do legal aid service, and people connect with you. Or even the other way of branding is in your internship offices. If you have done your work well, you will be remembered forever as an intern, and as I told you, they will refer you as well in future opportunities. So that's how you can build your brand.
There is a question on unconventional roles for a law graduate. Can you expand on the unconventional roles which a law graduate can take up?
So what exactly are they looking at? What is the unconventional role? Because I have called out, apart from litigation, there were other opportunities also that you can think of.
I presume it is non-legal.
So the other thing, so you can associate yourself with the NGO. If you're social, helping the society is something is your inner calling, connect with an NGO and start working. Or if you want to just do any social service activity by taking sessions, nothing much, even Saturdays, if you just want to go and take a class for students, help them understand how to file an FIR or how to file an RTI, very simple thing. Please go and do that. That will even help you to do your personal branding.
Some of the students influenced by your talk ask, how should a final year student start if corporate lawyer is their aim?
Okay. Firstly, company law should be your strength. Either take up CS or take up any online courses on corporate law advisory, because company law is the must for them. If you're aiming at the general counsel, I had called out various other opportunities like POSH drafting. One should be your core area. Second, have at least 1 or 2 internship in a company. How to get an internship is through LinkedIn contacts. I've told you how you have to network to get your internship. Please do that. And you should first of all understand the corporate structure. Corporate is not an easy go. You should know when to talk, how to talk, whom to address, whom not to address, how to address. All these things, you have to improve your interpersonal skill. Being a litigating lawyer is different. Being a corporate lawyer is different. Interpersonal skills matter a lot. You have to work towards it.
Right. How does one manage issue of budgetary constraints for external counsel consultation and limitation of being a master of all the laws while working as an in-house counsel?
Okay. How to master is you have to take time. So how I can help you on this is, if you want to master in drafting, you can talk. It's available online. Draft it for yourself. Start creating your own templates. The other way, if it is on the POSH, if you want to know that, there are a lot of articles that's been available. You have to have every week, have a weekly report for yourself. Select a particular law, start improving on it. For queries, reach out to experts who would have written an article, or your seniors in the fraternity. Talk to them, get on going. And it's just not studying, you have to implement in your workplace, because you want to become a good in-house counsel. Start taking up assignments. As I told you, start taking initiatives. There's a new legislation like Maternity Act changed. Go and tell your manager, I want to take an assignment of understanding how is it going to impact my industry, and do it.
A common question asked by all the students is that 3-year law course students don't get a foot in the door working with either law firms or corporates for internships. What is a way out?
You should be good at whatever you do. That's all is a way out. It's not that 5-year law or 3-year law don't get it. It's just that how did you position yourself in front of them mattered a lot. If today a 3-year law student has really good technical skill, interpersonal skill, why will I even reject your resume? You have to be good in whatever you do, and how you position and convey your message in the right way matters a